Now this is a weird S.A.L.T production because I'm going to do it driving. Now there may be some people that oppose that and say it's not safe what I'm doing, but I'm going to be holding the, going like that, be holding the wheel as you see now. You see I'm holding two hands on the wheel. This one hand happens to be holding a phone. See that? But you get to see the trees over there. It's very cloudy and raining. And don't worry, I'm off the highway now, so it's a little easier driving. Anyway, we're still on playoff previews here. Now we go to the NFC. We're going to go to Green Bay in Arizona. They're meeting this Saturday night. And it's one of the reasons I'm doing this now, because I don't have time to do this later. I got to get this in. It's already Friday when I'm making this. Green Bay, Arizona. One of the great coaches of the NFL, Bruce Arians. He is so good that people actually think that Carson Palmer revived his career. What I mean to say better is, of course, Carson Palmer is doing fantastic over there with Bruce Arians, but I'm giving Bruce Arians a lot of the credit. What I mean by that is that if Carson Palmer would be playing for most offensive coordinators, offensive coaches in this league, then he'd be playing the way Carson Palmer was playing for about 3-4 years, where everybody correctly thought he was washed up. He was washed up. He didn't do well his last year or two in Cincinnati. He was already not doing. He didn't do well in Oakland. So, he got like 4,000 yards. Again, when I say washed up, I mean he's not the old Carson Palmer. He just throws too many interceptions to be a quality quarterback. He worse than Jay Cutler. Let's put it that way. Jay Cutler's about what, the 15th, 16th, 17th best quarterback in the league. So Carson Palmer would be about 18, 19 without Bruce Arians. And that doesn't. I don't mean to make it sound like he's a terrible quarterback. He would just throw too many interceptions. He'd be a quarterback you make fun of. He'd be a quarterback that you don't want to play. You don't want him on your team playing. He's just too inconsistent and would kill you when it counts. But with Bruce Arians, this guy has got to be given credit. He goes over he takes over Indianapolis when Pagano got the cancer, and he does a great job, gets Coach of the Year for Indianapolis. Now comes over to Arizona, and he's just a tremendous offensive coach. He's always attacking. His attitude is aggressive and the type that players react to. How about the Arizona defense? Well, last year Todd Bowles ran it, and loved Todd Bowles as a defensive coach. There's a man that blitzes. And in this league, if you don't blitz, you don't play great defense. I hold that I believe if you rush five, I don't even call that a blitz even. I might even call that a blitz. You gotta call it a blitz, but I would almost rush 5 almost all the time. Forget about rushing 6 or 7. 6 or 7, that's called blitzing. I do that. Vary it. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know how to cover the bubble screen when you blitz. You gotta know how to cover the regular screen when you blitz. You gotta be ready for those. You can't cover everything, but you gotta hit the quarterbacks now in this day of great offensive systems and rules favoring the offense. You got to be able to hit the quarterback. Tom Brady drops considerably when he gets hit. Peyton Manning and any quarterback drops considerably when they get hit. So blitzing is a key component in this league. Todd Bowles did it. So you think, he left. I thought they were going to have a drop defensively. Apparently, and they could have and should have. They may not be the same as last year, but this guy bunches. He blitzes the most in the league, so he kept to the same system. And Arizona defense playing fantastic. Key injury, and the name, I'm doing this in a car, the name is now slipping me. Key injury, their safety. Who's that guy? He's a key guy, aggressive guy all over the place, a Troy Polamalu type. And he'll be missed. But Arizona should have no problem with Green Bay. And again, when I make a prediction, that doesn't mean don't come back to me and say, yeah, you thought Arizona have no problem. That means from a analyzation standpoint, Arizona should easily hand Green Bay. And we take it over to Green Bay. Why should they easily handle Green Bay? Green Bay's defense hasn't been great for years. It's okay. You got Clay Matthews making plays. You got Peppers, who I thought was going to decline, and has not declined, and has really done a good job for Green Bay. You got some young, in the secondary, and he's made plays. They have guys that make some plays, but again, that's not a defense that wins playoff time. That's not that's a okay defense. It's not the type of defense that's going to stop Arizona from scoring in the high 30s in this game. I would think, again, just like Arizona scored 30s in the end of the season against Green Bay, why shouldn't they score in the 30s again? But wait a minute, Green Bay's offense is back. There was something wrong with Aaron Rodgers this season. You see, don't just blame it on missing Jordy Nelson. I mean, there's something wrong there. Maybe you could blame it on the injuries in the offensive line. Okay, that's a little bit. You can blame it that McCarthy wasn't calling the plays. And I definitely would put something into that. McCarthy's a great offensive coach. And when he took over the last few games, people were saying, oh, look, the stats didn't improve. They even got worse. Yeah, they played Minnesota, they played Arizona, and they played at Oakland, which is, again, Oakland's not a great defense, but it was at Oakland. And McCarthy calling the plays improves it. He did go back to a running game. He did try to emphasize the running game, and that's it. Now, usually I would say I'd want Rodgers throwing the ball as much as possible. Don't do the running game. But with the way it was and the way Rodgers was having the above mentioned issues that I just mentioned, you had to get Lacy and Starks going, particularly against Washington. I had predicted before the game they would get 200 yards rushing. I don't think they quite made it to that number, but they did get 125 yards rushing in the second half alone. But that's the running. When the running game's going, of course Rodgers is going to be going. Now we're going to see Rodgers against Arizona. Look, what you see during the regular season doesn't generally leave playoff time. You don't just turn on switches. And now all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers is going to be fantastic. He'll struggle a bit in this game, I would guess. Again, if things go as should, Arizona's defense is good enough to make him struggle. And again, Rodgers has been a little bit off on his accuracy this year and the offensive line issues. And again, I'm not expecting Green Bay to put in the 30s as well. So Arizona in the 30s, Green Bay maybe in the 20s, but I would think something like 38-17, 34-20. Maybe Arizona even gets in the 40s if they get a couple of turnovers, and that they can, 41-14, that type of score. Arizona will win this. Arizona to advance to play the winner of the Carolina-Seattle game, and that's being covered in our next S.A.L.T production. I didn't really move it around. You got the same view. I really should have moved it. You get the trees over here. Get the trees in middle of January. I should have moved around. You probably could figure out where I am if you notice these beautiful green trees. But it's not a beautiful green day. It's rainy. You see the window. Oh, you got that window wiper action on the low tech. So I hope that didn't bother you. I hope you were focusing on the solid analysis and not so much on the low tech on this S.A.L.T production. There I am.